Welcome to the Mingo and Karen Show, the podcast. We're excited that you've chosen to explore the topic of life with us. All of us are here for a reason, so let's venture on this journey together. One of the lessons that we've learned over the years, especially me, in our marriage, is how to affirm in public and object in private. Affirming in public means that when we're out, even if we may have had a recent disagreement, that I'm not, either putting Mingo on blast, putting myself on blast, or making a
business in the street,
right, and making a big to do about something that needs to be handled privately. And and that goes into the point of objecting in private. You can the whole point is to get your issue resolved, but you don't have to do it where everybody when you do it in front of people and it's all in your business. We've been in situations where we've been out with couples. Like over the years, and you have that awkward moment where I'm not talking about like where it may be like a little bit of a disagreement on what restaurant you choose or something like that. I'm talking about where it's like, ooh, some real issues where we just kind of sit awkwardly and uncomfortably.
It just showed up.
Yeah, and you're like, oh my goodness, okay.
Like, what do you say? Do we say something? Do you get up and go to the bathroom? What do you do?
Yeah, and for me, when I was a lot younger in our marriage, in my 20s, I would say, I didn't necessarily do that as far as like saying things directly, like in front of people, or being embarrassing us as a couple. But let's just say if I had I wanted to get an opinion about something or advice, and you would be like, don't be telling people all our business.
That's right. It's mine.
And so and at the time, not understanding that everybody that you talk to, everybody that you call friend, or people that you think you can confide in, that doesn't, they're not always you don't know what their motivation is behind whatever advice they give you too.
Yeah, and affirming in public and objecting in private. Another way it could be said is praising in public and protesting in private.
Right.
And what we found.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say we heard it's been some years ago, but a wise gentleman actually said that.
Yeah,
so.
Absolutely. Affirming in public and objecting in private it's an acquired skill. Mm-hmm. As a young couple, we didn't know that. When the blood was flowing and the heat was boiling, we just we didn't act out like act all crazy in public. But if there was a disagreement, if you knew some backstory, you probably could tell. You could tell the energy is weird.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, even what Karen was saying, that's a very weird place to be in. And so as we got older and a little bit wiser, we learned that you have to be very mindful of what you do, what you say, and who you say it in front of.
Yes.
Because that can be used as ammunition against you. Mm-hmm. Like, oh, they think they're this perfect couple and yada, 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 mm-hmm. But we don't judge people from that standpoint.
Yeah.
We understand that, Karen could do something that could get under my skin so bad that
I try not to now.
But nobody would know that.
Yeah. You
wouldn't know it. Now, when we get in the car, I'm like, hey, let's roll back a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
What were you trying to say in that moment? But we're in the car by ourselves. We're not at the table with friends. We're not in a restaurant. We're not in a public space.
Right.
And I think that it's a skill that's needed.
Yeah.
You just have to have it. It's restraint.
Yeah.
It's maturity.
Mm-hmm.
And it just puts you in a better light. We're not saying be fake, but
at all.
But I am saying if you have an alter ego, don't let that clown soup show up at that restaurant or show up in public, because you would hate, especially in this day and time, people with these phones. When we were younger, there wasn't the ability to record somebody and replay it and it go viral.
Yeah.
But you should do that for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
For yourself, you should say, well, first of all, you need to understand why whatever y'all disagreed about is still going on, and y'all amongst other people. So now, how we talk about the cloud in the room, and you might just be that thunderstorm that showed up that day. You might be part of that forecast.
Right.
So now you got everybody else feeling all awkward and weird because you all were not mature enough to handle your own, disagreement. And
for me, in a nutshell, it amounts to just understanding that neither one of us should embarrass us. We shouldn't, there are moments where sometimes, you said something and it kind of caught me off guard, and I'm like, okay, all right. But I ain't gonna be like, what did you say to me? I can't believe it, like in front of other people. Or if we have, if I don't, agree with something that you said. It's just a way to do what we're doing. It's a way to approach something differently, and I think it's very, very important not to not to put that, like you said, that energy out there, to put maybe sometimes even that ugliness out there, or maybe you just stay at home, or maybe you don't put yourself.
But now, if you go stay at home and act the fool, that ain't good either.
Well, but you're right. But the point is, though, but you're bringing that to other people.
Yeah.
It'd be different if you're bringing it, to in front of other people to get something resolved.
Yeah, if you're looking for their help or their assistance.
Right.
You don't want to handle that by yourself, because obviously you was mature enough to say, you know what, we can't resolve this amongst you and I. So maybe if we bring somebody else in that we trust, they can give us a different perspective. But we also have to make sure the person that we bring in is not a cheerleader for our team.
Well,
because then now what does that do? Now it's 2-on-1 or 3-on-1 or 4-on-1.
Yeah.
And you don't want that neither. And I'm not trying to say, we're not trying to make this overly complicated.
Yeah.
The nutshell is, don't act the fool in a public place.
Yeah.
Just have enough strength. I know Karen used to always say, now, did you really think about that before you said that? She used to say that to our kids. She used to say it to different folks if it came up in the conversation. How do you feel now that you've said that? Some people say, well, you know what, girl, I got it off my chest. I feel better. You're like, yeah, you feel better, but everybody else looking at her like, oh, I ain't know she had that side to her.
Well, and for me, that came from a place of me not thinking before I spoke.
Yeah.
Ooh, Lord, whatever came up came out.
Sophia Golden Girls.
Yeah, Mingo used to always call me Sophia because I didn't know how to properly filter my own self. And so as I began to learn how to do that, because I had not, I didn't know that skill. I was either extremely quiet or just extremely talkative in sometimes in the wrong way. And so learning how to actually filter myself taught me, even as a wife, how to not just say whatever.
Yeah.
And then I think just even the effects of not doing so causes even more problems. It just continues to mount up and creates this unnecessary, it creates kind of an unnecessary issues in the relationship. Certain things, like if you had on an outfit, you say, babe, how this looking? I'm like, I don't really like that because, I could have just said, well, babe, I think this will work better. I learned that skill from you.
It's all in how you say it.
Yeah, and how you say it. And I would just be like, oh, that's ugly. I don't even know why you have that. Just rude. And that's...
You called it, in your mind, you think you was keeping it real.
Yeah, keeping it real, and I'm going to be candid, and why can't you, if I'm out here with this ugly outfit on, don't let me be out here looking a fool,
Until real knock on your door.
Oh, wait, but now you can't say this about me unless you say something that hurts my feelings. If you tell me the truth on something, I would be like, okay, Mingo ain't gonna let me go out here looking a hot mess.
Yeah.
And I don't mind if real knocks on my door in a constructive way.
Yeah.
But now if you just being downright ugly,
oh yeah, now
you're gonna really catch a whole different side of me that you didn't even know. Like, don't be ugly about it, because if I'm approaching you about something, I'm not gonna be ugly to you about it.
So the point of the affirmation is, everybody, I would believe everybody would like to be affirmed.
Yeah.
And then objecting, I just think it's different arenas for different things,
Right.
And I think it's very important that you just be mindful of how you move, because, I don't ever want to put other people that's there to have a good time and make them have to choose sides or become a referee.
Well,
And that's
okay, referee.
And I don't. And if
no, that is a great. I mean, that's yeah.
But then they can become. You will attack them if you're up. If you've dealt with somebody who's ever been really, really, really upset, you can't reach them.
Yeah, no, that's true.
The closest friend can't reach them.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't reach them. So now they find themselves saying, hey, man, let's go to different corners with this. And it's like, well, why you all in our business? And now you're going to attack them. And now the couple that was bickering, they're teamed up on the referee.
Yeah.
I mean, this happens because you got to understand we're people.
Yeah.
And I think that's what a lot of people don't want to realize. I believe all couples don't agree on everything.
Mm-hmm.
We were not designed to agree
At
on
all.
everything, but it's all in how you handle the disagreement.
That's true.
And I'm not sitting here telling you that we had this skill just as soon as we got together,
Ooh,
because
we were a mess.
we did not. This
We
came
did.
over time. This was trial and error,
Mm-hmm.
and it just made us realize that we had more things to do. And then the whole point in an argument, if I win, you lose.
Absolutely.
How does that work?
Yeah, and you know, I remember this had to probably be maybe about 10 years ago. We were in our 30s when I think we kind of got to this point. Now, it took us some years to learn how to practice that. But if you are with someone that you love, let's just say outside of just this argument that you're having, at the expense of you, would you want them to lose? I mean, just think about that concept.
Yeah.
You know, if you're competing on in a sport, or if you
Playing cards or something.
I mean, something like that.
Yeah.
But every time you win at something, the person that you love, you stand a chance for them to lose. So what are you really fighting for?
Especially when it comes to the relationship.
Yeah.
I can't win in the relationship and you not win.
Yeah.
I mean, how can I get a point and you don't get a point?
Yeah.
That's like cancels each other out.
Absolutely.
I get a point, you lose a point. We, as a couple, we have not gained anything. Now, we're not talking about individual growth. I'm talking about specifically couple growth, the relationship. And just the thought of losing anything, I don't want you to lose anything.
Absolutely.
I don't even want you to misplace your keys, because I don't want you to have to take time out of what you're doing to look for the keys.
Yeah.
You know? And when you have that level of commitment for somebody, you have to really, really think about your level of commitment to who you're in a relationship with.
That's right.
Because if you all are a team, it's just like, I'm not going to say my favorite team right now because we're not doing the greatest, but I will say I'm still a fan.
Yeah.
I may fuss at the TV every Sunday, but that's my team to fuss at.
Yep.
And when we win and we get back on track, I'm going to still be that same fan. And I think you have to have that. Some people, I've seen guys and even ladies that root for their team, their sports team, harder than they root for their relationship.
Ain't that the truth?
I mean, you think about it. In an analogy of a sports team, there are injuries that come along with a relationship. Like somebody may get sick, somebody may get laid off. Your favorite player get hurt. You're down about it, but you still want somebody to step up off the bench. In a relationship, there's nobody to come off the bench. This is a 2-player team.
Yeah.
You know, it's a 2-member team, and on this team, you all are players and coaches. You know,
And well, shoot, in that regard, then they're cheerleaders also. But
yeah, that's true.
But you know, the real question:
what?
even though we're playing this game together, are we really on the same team? All people are not on the same team.
That's true now, because we've experienced, you know, the couple in front of us, and they're saying, you know, hey, we're team such and such. And after hearing them elaborate more on what they think the team is, we discover that they're not on the same team at all.
Yeah, because then one person is saying one thing, another person is saying another thing, and then you start to watch them have an interaction. And then it's like, oh my goodness, okay, all right then. Or you know that if you've had private conversations with either party, one person may be thinking one thing and another person is thinking another thing. We're here, our goal is not to judge any couple on how they behave. Not at all. What we're saying is this is something that we've learned. It is tried and true.
And tested.
That's what I'm saying. We have done this. When I tell you, number one, immaturity for me personally is what made me where if I didn't agree, I'll use me as the example. So if, when we were younger, if it was something that you wanted, let's just say we were getting ready is after church or something, and we were going to go get something to eat. And it's like, well, we're in a group. And everybody's like, well, where do y'all want to go? Where do y'all want to go? And then I say, well, I don't know. Because, I'm always indecisive about where I want to go eat. But I'm like, I don't know. And then you say Golden Corral, right? Well, back then it was like Quincy's. And I'm like, I don't eat buffets.
Yeah.
Just why? What? It's like, what are you doing?
It's like you making a decision for the whole group based on your experience of the place.
And then just me being ugly to you based on you making a recommendation. Now, keep in mind, I don't even know where I want to eat.
Yeah.
But yet I'm like, I don't want to eat there because I don't eat buffets, you know, or something like that. And whereas I could have said, well, babe, you know, I really don't want to eat, you know, at a buffet. You know, that's not really my thing. But and even though I don't know where I want to eat, I do know where I don't want to eat, and that's at Quincy.
And mine was stubbornness. You know, I'm not going to have the fit and get the attitude. I'm just like, oh, okay, if she can't figure it out, I'm going right here to this restaurant. And if she don't want the buffet, they do have a menu.
Don't do it. And I did get steak tips, thank you. I mean, and we didn't even know the beauty in even that compromise. It was just the approach that I had. And so then, you know, we get in the car and you like, I mean, you know, why did you have to say it like that? Or, you know, and I didn't know at the time to not do that. I just didn't know any better. I thought, you know, I didn't understand the value of everything that comes up doesn't have to come out. That's the first thing.
Yeah.
And then secondly, that it's my approach to how I handle situations when it came to that. I didn't have to be like, I don't eat that, you know, with an attitude. I could have approached it differently and you would have received it better from me.
You know, but you know what, a lot of couples, especially men, I'm not speaking for all men. I'm gonna speak for myself because I don't like to do the umbrella blanket thing. I'm gonna speak specifically for me. When it comes to me, if you say I don't want this restaurant, what I'm waiting on, I'm hanging on the ledge. I'm waiting for you to tell me what it is you want.
Yeah.
Because if I've thrown a couple of things out there, if you said no to all of them, and actually got an attitude about all of them,
that was me.
It's like, well, what do you want me to do? You don't even know what you want to eat. And then I also understand that you're getting more hungrier.
Yeah.
And now you got the headache setting in. You're getting impatient. It's all these different things going on. Where is when you objected, you know what I'm saying? You could have just basically said, well, I don't want to do the buffet thing. Let's do this type of restaurant. And then the group may say, we don't want to do that. Then at that point, you have the choice to say, you know what, y'all, we decided we want to eat something a little different, you know, so we're going to do it this way.
Right.
You know, and I think if you got a mature group of people around you, they will understand that.
Right.
You know, it won't be a second set of attitudes, a whole nother situation. You know,
right.
You don't want it to cluster and turn into something that it doesn't even have to turn into because it's supposed to be a good thing.
Oh, and let's go a little bit deeper. So what if the buffet, we're going to hypothetical around this, and I don't really like to do much hypothetical speaking. I don't like to just hypothetically say things. I like, you know, to try to just figure out what it is and pinpoint it. But let's go a little bit deeper and say that the problem really is not going to the buffet. That there was an issue before we left to even go to church that morning.
Oh, yeah. Now,
you see what I'm saying? So then now just because, you know, you didn't got your Sunday feel good
that
on.
sermon didn't fix it.
Yeah, it didn't fix it. And it's like, I'm back to my bad attitude. I was notorious for doing that. I'm like, I'm going to hold on to this forever. So, and what I've had to learn about that is that holding on to that baggage gives you no power.
Erykah Badu bag lady.
I mean, it gives you no power. Sometimes we think that, well, I know for me, I was like, well, this morning we got up, you know, and I asked him to do so and so and so and so. And I mean, it used to be, when I tell you, it used to be so petty. Oh my gosh, like ridiculously petty. And I didn't know that I was being petty until my daughter was like, petty Betty, you can be petty. But it was me being petty about something that was silly. And because of that, and me holding on to that, then what I would be doing is I'd be, you know, dragging it with us. Well, you remember when this morning I asked you to bring my toothbrush, you know, to the other bathroom and you did. I mean, just silliness like that. And then I let it roll over.
But then that validates what we said in the very beginning about affirming in public and objecting in private. See, we had to actually go through those things to understand how to use that formula.
Right.
And it can be used at any time. It's not specific to a relationship.
Yes.
You can use it at work. You can use it with friends. You can just use it any time. And it doesn't mean that it's the perfect one. But for us, I mean, we've been married a long time. And, you know, and when we meet people, it's funny because they be like, what? Well, how old were y'all when y'all got married?
Yeah.
We're like, well, you know, we were young, but we weren't like teenage young,
Yeah.
but we were young. And it's like, you know, that's a beautiful thing. And then it immediately makes you think about all the different things we learned because neither one of us had somebody to go to and teach us this.
Yeah.
Because back then, when you're watching your parents' relationship or your grandparents' relationship,
Mm-hmm.
they not finna come talk to you about what they had a disagreement about. Your best bet is to get out the room or get out the way.
Yeah.
You're definitely not finna sit down and say, well, how did you use this skill and use that skill?
Right.
No, it wasn't no skill. It was like, this is what we got going on.
And
Go
that's it.
get in a child's place.
Yep.
We decided to raise our kids a little bit differently than that because we wanted them in their young relationships to be able to have these tools and these skills, because just because you're young, well, when you're young, this is when you really need to know how to do this stuff, because
Mm-hmm.
this is when people act out. You know,
Mm-hmm.
you act out the most when you're younger because, one, you have more energy.
Mm-hmm.
Two, you think you're right.
Mm-hmm.
And three, you feel like you don't have to do nothing you don't want to do.
Yeah.
But after spending time with somebody and you love them, it goes back to, if I win, you lose. I
Mhm.
mean, that's a very important thing. Understanding that, wow, how can I celebrate something and my team member not celebrating?
Yeah.
How is that a win? That's not a victory.
Yeah, it's not.
You know, that was a loss. That means that every time you do this and you don't figure out some type of compromise or find some type of common ground, your team is owing however long y'all been together.
Mhm.
So if you've been together 3 years, you 0-3. Your team sucks. You need a new coach.
Yeah,
You
and
know-
then even with that, being on the same team, not carrying that baggage. I mean, that's like if you have if you're playing football, or well, I'll say in your case baseball, and you know you always have your bag with you. When you go out there to bat, you don't, you know, or in any sports, when they bring in the stuff out there, the team manager,
you only take
right?
out there what you need.
Yeah, you take out there what you need, but you don't go if it's your time to hit the ball in baseball. You don't carry all of everything with you up there.
Oh, yeah.
You carry the bat.
You actually don't even have your glove. You just have the bat.
Exactly, and so understanding that also, and I think it's important that what we learned in all of that is to keep people out of our business too.
Yeah. Now
I mean,
that's
you
the
know-
one we need to get, really, really go beyond the surface.
Yeah, and from the baggage to making sure that we're on the same page with each other, we're on the same team rather
Mhm.
with each other, but also knowing that will make you understand the value of you not having folks telling you how to be in your relationship. Your friends, you, again, like I said in the beginning, you don't know people's motivations.
You don't.
And so then if you're out here, like if somebody be like, girl, I would never do this and I wouldn't put up with that, and girl, and but this is the person who's never been in your shoes and not qualified to tell you anything.
That's true.
One thing that we committed to in our relationship, and everybody's relationship is different, and you have to know your own commitment. We're not here to tell you how to be in your relationship. But the way we are in ours, we've always vowed that only two things could break us up. There's beating and cheating.
Yeah.
Those are the two things. Other than that, Mingo
Those-
and Karen, shut up and work it out.
Those
Get
are
it
deal
fixed.
breakers. Those are deal breakers, because if you got to hit somebody,
Mm-hmm.
and if you have to hit somebody and physically harm somebody to get them to see your point of view, your communication skills are whack.
Yep.
If you have to be in another intimate relationship
Mm-hmm.
while you are a married person that you devoted your life to get your fulfillment, if you such a man and you're such a woman, why don't you just tell this person, move on, let them live their life,
Yeah.
versus bringing this pain to them? Because no matter when they find out, it's going to hurt.
Yeah.
It's going to hurt.
And for us, we're not here to judge other
At
couples.
all, no.
We're just here to say that, because we don't know people. You don't know people's situations, so let me say that.
You don't.
And so you don't know, if people are dealing with things like that, what they've resolved to be back together or to stay together.
And
we don't know
why
that.
they have to stay.
Yeah, and you don't know that. But I know for us, just in our relationship,
Yeah.
let me be very, very clear. Let's just say in our marriage,
Yeah.
we have made a commitment that this is where we need to be with each other, and this is the thing that we need to do. So again, we're not trying to judge like other people's relationships.
No.
This is just a deal breaker. These are deal breakers for us.
But it's good you said that, because that's the point we're saying. Establish, you have goals for a relationship, but you also need to be able to be with your teammate to say, this is my deal breaker.
Mm-hmm.
This right here, I don't know how we can come back from this.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to ever experience that to test that. But that's why we were very upfront with each other. Like, okay, if we
We're gonna get married.
if we do these two things right here within our marriage, it ain't gonna make it.
Yeah.
It's just not gonna make it. And so, but other people, you know, they don't always have the voices that you and I decided to allow
That's
each
right.
other to have in
Yeah.
our relationship.
That's
so
true.
that doesn't make our relationship perfect or better
Oh,
than
we still
anybody
work
else's.
on it.
Yeah, but that just means that we communicated about certain things a certain way. You know,
But what's important to us, though, is that we are sharing our experience in hopes that we help other people,
Yeah.
right? And so understanding that, I remember having a conversation with someone. Oh gosh, it was after the twins were born. So I had to be maybe around 24, 25-ish. And the person was telling me about what I needed to be doing in our relationship.
Yeah.
And I said to the person, I said, listen, you can't tell me how to be married to one person with 3 babies in this year, this many, you know, however old I was, 25 at the time. What you can tell me, though, is how to be divorced twice.
Yeah.
Now, if you're going to tell me something that is going to contribute to me staying together based on what you learned from your divorce, oh my gosh, I am here to receive it. Please tell me what not to do, but to sit on the outside of our relationship and judge my relationship when you yourself have not you have not been where I've been. That's the thing for me that is a deal breaker, and that's why you have to keep people out of your business unless they are there to really offer you sound and good advice that's going to help you. But the ones that be like, girl, I wouldn't. How you know?
But you know, it's good you said that, because that tied back into who you're telling your business to.
Mm-hmm.
That really just brought it back. You decided to have a discussion with that person. You had your reasons for calling that person or going to see that person, and you shared.
Yeah.
And that person became judgmental.
Absolutely.
So that threw up a wall for you.
Mm-hmm.
So after you experience that enough times, then you learn to figure your own business out.
Yep.
That's why it was so important for us in our relationship, is that if we were ever upset, we never left the house.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we didn't do all that craziness that would divide us with that moment of weakness there, because when you have that little seam there,
Yep.
sometimes that's when that negativity gets in there,
Mm-hmm.
and that's when bad things can happen.
Yeah.
So you have to be mindful, and get your go-to people, get your people that really listen to you,
Mm-hmm.
and you know, have those friends or those people in your life where you can say, look,
You can trust.
I just need to vent. I don't need no opinions. I
Mm-hmm.
don't need any judgment. I just need to get this off my chest, because guess what? When I finish talking about this, I may feel better.
Yeah.
I may not need you to say anything, or I may finish and say, what do you think?
Well, and then you know what? The people that you're telling, you know, you find out that they still bad with your spouse.
Yes, that is true.
They are still mad with your spouse and wondering why you still with that person, because
and you over it.
And you are over it, and you going on, and they like, wait a minute, when she just mad with him, or when he just mad with her? But you know, overall, it's just important that we uplift each other, that we affirm each other. And yes, it's good to affirm in public, but it's also good to affirm at home.
Yeah.
You know, while you're in private.
Absolutely.
So just as much as you object in private, you should affirm in private as well. Just make sure that what you're doing is for the benefit of you and your relationship, and that it makes for a better relationship. The objective should always be for it to be better. And you got to do everything that you can to ensure that you're having the best relationship that you want to have. Happy relationship building.
Happy relationship building.
Thank you for listening to our podcast. You can find us on Facebook on our Love is Powerful Stuff page, and at Mingo and Karen on Twitter and Instagram. Happy relationship building.